will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Hi Mario, hi Princess, and hi Syria.
How's it
Very
going?
good, and have a wonderful Saturday. I hope you are having great, guys.
Me
Okay,
too.
so what's the question today for people have embarking
Perfect.
on the journey? Yeah.
Yeah, so for the first question, if someone have substantial evidence of of their original contributions and critical role locked inside company systems like emails, process maps, internal decks, workflow documents, but the organization has strict policies and firewalls preventing any data from leaving the network, what is the safest and most ethical way to document that impact for immigration or professional evidence purposes without triggering compliance issues or red flags?
Yeah, I think it's a very, persistent question that keeps on happening actually. But let's understand one thing very, in a very granular and a very simplistic way. Uh, One should not, first of all, try to take the information out if it is restricted. So I think the companies at times are, kind of restrained by virtue of how and what they are what needs to go out in public, their data, their proprietary data. I think the best way would be to request the company to retract the information, whatever is deemed to be confidential, and kind of give evidences of that person's criticality. I mean, I think the whole importance of this whole purpose of any company data would be more oriented towards revenue figures, division revenue figures, and something like the person is managing the affairs of the company in terms of business or something. So it would be limited to that, to take approval and give a kind of a letter of recommendations that would kind of help. I mean, we do come across this situation where we have always suggested that let the information be retracted. So I think that's the best way going forward, I would say that. Otherwise, let's also understand it's like this, Princess, you're working with the Next League program and you are applying for your own EB1A and you want to show your criticality, and there are certain data in the Next League we cannot be showing you. I mean, let us say that you reached out to people, their contact details or something. I mean, I'm just trying to be making up. But then, can that same data be produced in a manner that hides personal information? Let us say that. Then it is possible. Oh, you contacted Princess, contacted for 500 people and helped 200 people to become EB1A achievers. If something that can be certified by the company, that is good enough. You don't need the actual data of the people whom you contacted. I mean, that's the way I would like this to be presented. I hope this makes sense. So there are ways or surrogate ways of kind of establishing the fact. Remember, you are trying to establish the fact of your criticality in this case, or your original contribution at the most. So if you are able to do that properly, that would be wonderful actually. I mean, but definitely I would say that you need a support of the company. Okay? So that I would like to say that. So let's move to the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next question is from an anonymous user. They ask, at the Next League program, what's the average timeline between starting profile development and filing a strong petition?
Well, it is remember one thing, that you get your EB1A based on three things. Number one is your expertise. I mean, if somebody were to come to us and say that academically he is arrived or he is the best in that particular field, whatever he's talking about, then I think what he needs to understand is the granularity of the whole EB1A jurisprudence, in a sense that why those 10 criteria, where those 10 criteria are taking. I mean, what is the objective behind those 10 criteria? What are the laws saying? What are the case laws? What is the policy manual? And all those kind of stuff actually. So, if you are able to kind of articulate. And third is how to present yourself. In a sense that how to work with an attorney, how to draft recommendation letters, how to draft expert opinion letters. What is the difference between all three of them? And you have to get them also. And also, we have seen that it is a function of these three things put together. I mean, someone who has been kind of, if there are people, we have somebody in the program right now, he has kind of prepared everything in last 6 months exactly, actually. While we have seen a general trend has been like somebody who has been younger, right, from profile development, I mean 8 to 12 months. Oh, sorry, for somebody younger, it has been almost 15 to 18 months, and say under 30 or something. But somebody who has been at least with a 10 years of experience, close to that bare minimum, then I think the sweet spot has been 8 to 12 months. But it also depends on the intensity of the effort you put forward. Actually, if you don't put the effort, nothing works. Okay, so I think that would be my take here. So let's move to the next question again.
Absolutely. So next we have there have been a lot of changes in USCIS recently, and I have been getting many different answers to this question. What are the most overlooked USCIS adjudication trends or patterns that EB1A aspirants should know about in this 2025?
Well, I think there are a lot of speculations that are floating in. I have only one thing: that don't listen to news if or anything. That if you are on an EB1A path, I mean, don't try to get attention, get it to your attention unnecessarily if it does not concern you. I think, to the best of my understanding, I've always seen that any government, any establishment is always looking for that matter, any country. I have studied, kind of talent visas of Australia, Canada. Canada would not have to this extent, but Australia, UK, Germany, China. There are a lot of countries who are looking forward to having people who are truly well known, well respected, extraordinary ability. They may not have this term per se, but yes, they do have, a talent visa kind of a thing in every country. I think every country is looking forward for talented individuals. So definitely, if you can prove yourself, as I said, again, come back to three things: that you are an expert, your expertise is benefit to the US, and you will continue in your field of expertise. If you can kind of establish this in a most articulate manner, I think you have had it. Actually, you don't have to worry about trends, adjudication. What has happened in this case. You hear a lot of, the approval rates for EB1 have come down. It should not matter. This is not a race. You are not competing. You have to cross a threshold. That's it. I mean, I think these are percentage. I mean, they matter only when they matter. They are relevant. This is really not relevant here. When, let us say, you are trying for college admission, the best would get it. Are you the best? Oh, the approval rate we have seen people from Ivy Leagues. We have seen the best of the best people in best of the companies. I think many people who have come here have who try for EB1A, many of our students have been already the best of the best. You have come across the best of the companies. You very fact you reached the USA. You were on H1B. You were selected. You got to the best college and education that made you come here. And definitely, if you look at the percentage and the trends, they keep on changing every year. Do you bother about it? Everything. So please don't bother about it. Just do your job. Try to become the best version of yourself, and that's it. I would like to say that. If there is something how you need to present yourself, definitely will be there for you. Okay, so let's move to the next question, guys.
All right, so for the next question, what is your approach to identifying the core expertise or field of endeavor at the next league that best aligns with USIS expectations?
Yeah, I think it's a very kind of an interesting question. Actually, one of the most important. We have something called as a done process. It's a patented done process in terms of defining your expertise, organizing your criteria, nurturing the gaps, and executing your entire process of applying for USCIS. And here we are talking about defining your expertise. Now, expertise can be defined in multiple ways in terms of reverse engineering your what it takes to. It is not a function of your job. It is not a function of your qualifications. It is not a function of your education or a business title also, for that matter. So here in this case, what matters is that, okay, fine, what or how you have achieved something actually. For example, let's say, in my case, I will give you, I have been a CEO for Financial Planning Standards Board Before that, I was head of HR of an IT conglomerate. Before that, I was working as a director of one of the leading business schools in the world. And before that, I used to sell financial products. Now, my qualification has been in science and mathematics, statistics, computer programming, but and I was the CEO for Financial Planning Standard Board after 18 years of my service actually. Now, if I look at from this perspective, many people when I approach, they said, "Oh, you are a, kind of your expertise is financial planning, your expertise is management, your expertise is, this that." But it did not help me to connect everything, whatever I had achieved in my life actually. So finally, it was a revelation that you have to put down all the tasks. There is a certain Excel sheet. We give you certain videos. We give you certain examples to conduct, and you kind of are able to articulate your expertise by reverse engineering your impact. So once you are able to do that, so for example, in my case, finally it came out as financial education based. So when I did that, I think everything fell into place. It was, me being a CEO. It was so essentially you put forward that what are you at the core. So always it has been in my professional career, it is a educationist and financial educationist for which I applied for EB1A. Myself, it was a financial educationist or an educationist who was CEO. It was a financial educationist who was a HR head. It was a financial educationist who was a director. I used to teach finance also. And it was a financial educationist who used to sell financial product. And it is the educationist again who is kind of coaching EB1A aspirants. So there is a consistency. Similarly, we had another gentleman in the program. He was a more of a software logistics engineer working for one of the software companies actually. Okay, now to kind of, and he used to kind of use satellite for getting the best routes actually. That was the way. But his expertise was not identified by virtue of his title, software, logistics engineer. His expertise was geospatial software engineer. Now that is something because he used certain skills, certain knowledge from here. So you can do it either from your knowledge or from the impact. And the third way I would like to say that is like this: if somebody is earning, let us say, has a 10 years experience, is earning around 1.5, 150K, let us say that annually. For 10 years, an average salary on present value of money, it comes to roughly around 100K. For 10 years, he would have earned on the present value, somebody is earning around, let's say, $1 million. Now, if somebody pays you an X amount, definitely expects 20 or 20X of that value. It means that the total impact that person has created is $20 million. But we try to reverse engineer, okay, if you look at $20 million impact from the lens of the criteria, how much has that person kind of created that impact? If you look at how much could be considered to be an original contribution, how much of that could be considered critical? Now we followed this particular process and we have seen that this has consistently been kind of working time after time actually. Okay, so that's what I would like to say. That. Okay, so let's move to the next question, guys.
Certainly. So the next question they ask: how do you determine which EB1A criteria fit a person's background most naturally without forcing weak ones?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, I think there's something similar. Actually, it's not about criteria, guys. When somebody comes in, criteria are only lens to look at your profile. So, for example, it also depends on what kind of evidences you bring in. I will not take too much time on this question. I think we have spoken a lot about this in the past. But just to give an illustration, there was a gentleman working with a bank, actually doing product development, and he had created a product in form of an app. And that app could be manifested, for some retirees or something like this. And that was sold by the bank to a third-party venture fund at a valuation of $100 million with a 2 million customers. Now, this could have gone as a totality. This could have gone as a critical role. This could have gone as an original contribution. And there was a white paper on this, so this could have even got at a scholarly article. There were some events that were there or the showcase also. But this particular gentleman could get all these evidences. It all depends on what evidences you are bringing in also for this. So he could bring in as particular evidences that could manifest this particular work that he had done as an original contribution. And there were letters, there were company formation, what this company was doing, there were the valuation reports, total, so one, if since he did that, it really was very helpful. So it all depends. We don't try to force a criteria. What is a weak criteria if you don't have that evidence? Remember that. If you have evidence, it becomes stronger. It's very simple. So it depends on what, if you're able to, if had he not brought anything, let us say, but it is just in form of one simple letter, then it will just go into totality. And then there will be different variations of how, when, where, why, and what. So if you are able to, it depends on what answers and how to what detail you give the answer. So that would be my take, guys. And if you have some more questions, please send it to us. I think these are very thought-provoking questions for us, and they help us to understand that what have been the major concerns for each one of you. So, and let's take the last question, guys, now.
Okay, so the next question is: I have been following the Next League for a while now. Based on your experience, Ranjeet, what are the hallmarks of a successful EB1A candidate, both in mindset and execution?
I think that's a brilliant question, actually, here. Well, after having studied over 1,000 cases, meeting at least 100 plus achiever 50 are from our own program, I have a following observation, actually. Remember that there in the entire EB1A journey, there are 3 stages. Number 1 is profile building. You try to build up a profile and you kind of do that. The second is is a evidence gathering. And the third is, working with an attorney, filing with the petitions and kind of surviving the uncertainty. There are a lot of things that happen at the last minute, actually, here. Now, all the 3 things are equally important. And what you need is a very strong emotional resilience. And if you are able to maintain that emotional resilience, I think it's wonderful, actually. So number 1 is strong emotional resilience. Number 2 is something, please understand that no matter how much we think we know, there will be a point of time where you will have to take a leap of faith. So people who have been like in 6 months, they got EB1A, somebody got in 8 months. The difference between the people who would have made it, why is it that $1 million salary gets rejected at times while somebody with a 150K gets selected? Because of certain consistency, because there is another point is that no matter how much you intellectualize, there will be a point where you will have to take a leap of faith. So it's all about decision making. There are certain times where you will have to move forward. Okay, what letters? Okay, whatever you get them. Don't try to always be right. Try to take a right decision, because it's about you trying to take the decision and then making it right by virtue of your actions. I've seen that people who are able to do that, it has been really wonderful, actually. And I think because it is not possible for everybody to know everything, even about EB1A. Then you just have to move forward. It's like being an entrepreneur at times, actually. You just move forward. So that's all, my friends, we have today. And if you have some more questions, or you want to join the program, please reach out to Mario, Princess, or Syria, or I, and I will be more than happy to take your questions. And have a wonderful day. And if you want to join the program, the link will be given below in the comment section. Please write back to us, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any further questions or need personalized guidance, please reach out to us. We are here to help you every step of the way in your journey towards achieving your American dream. Let's connect and make it happen together.